The nominations for the 94th Academy Awards were released on Tuesday, and despite my concern with the introduction of certain rules and proposed quotas, I'm sure this award season event will provide us with some memorable moments, hosts, live performances, and most importantly, deserved winners based on performance and technical ability. So today on Steve's Indies, I'm discussing the nominations for the 94th Academy Awards. If you've been following my videos for the past year, then you know that I have been raving or mentioning a certain downbeat western known as The Power of the Dog, and how as an independent film I thought this would ultimately become 2022's powerhouse. Lo and behold, Power of the Dog, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Kirsten Dunst, has taken the nominations lead by storm, landing a massive 12 nominations, including Best Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actress, and so on. It's a massive frontrunner directed by someone who I was nodding to look out for, Jane Campion. Another film that I was very impressed with, the remake of Dune, follows at close second with a total of 10 nominations, including the coveted Best Picture. Strangely though, it's been left out of Best Director, which is, in my opinion, quite strange. It's a strange decision because Denis Villeneuve is a top director, and for what I saw, if it doesn't pick up some kind of award for, say, cinematography, which I believe it will, then it could be one of the shocks on the night. However, Power of the Dog has dominated the awards this season at the Globes and the BAFTAs, so I think that's probably easily the frontrunner. Then we have Spielberg's musical West Side Story, which I'm fascinated to check out, with a total of 7 nominations, alongside another independent triumph that I did recommend in my festival tour video, Belfast, directed by the legendary Kenneth Branagh. It's about troubles in Northern Ireland during the IRA times, and follows a story about Kenneth very personally during his childhood. After that, we have King Richard with 6 nominations, about the rise of the Venus sisters in competitive tennis, and their father, portrayed by the amazing Will Smith, who has been nominated for Best Actor in this role. So quickly, let's just look at the categories in full and see what we have to look out for in the following weeks. Best Picture is a biggie, it always is. It's tough to choose with a massive 10 films, including the ones I've already mentioned, but we have Philippe Rossellet's CODA, which has been turning a lot of heads. Be careful, because I believe that this could be a contender. And of course, we have the dynamic fantasy and horror genius and previous Best Picture winner with his film The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro, and his film Nightmare Alley, along with Drive My Car, Don't Look Up, and the quirky indie flick Licorice Pizza. There's some really great films to look out for at this awards evening. I love the Best Picture category, that's definitely one of my favourites. And if you follow the algorithms, I would say, or events of previous Oscar awards evenings, then you know that Best Picture can often be decided early. I mean, it's not a definite science, but usually the film that picks up early awards for Best Director, Best Screenplay, usually picks up the biggie that all filmmakers want. So just a tip there for any Oscar newbies. Speaking of Best Director, we have Spielberg for West Side Story, Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza, Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car, Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, and of course Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog. And just before I quickly keep going and name the others, I just wanted to say that I have my opinions on what I think will win or do well, but before I do make a predictions video a week or 2 weeks before March 27th, I'm going to watch them all, so if you're wondering why I haven't really done it or chosen them so far, that's why. And so we move on to Best Actress, with Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos, which is one that's been nominated quite a lot, Kirsten Stewart for Spencer. Moving on to Best Actor, Javier Bardem, Being the Ricardos, again another film that's been nominated for Performance Award, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom, which apparently is amazing, Will Smith for King Richard, and the absolute legendary Denzel Washington for the Shakespeare remake, The Tragedy of Macbeth. And if you have seen Fences in 2017, you know that Denzel Washington absolutely nailed the acting. I didn't think it was the best film, but in terms of performance, it blew me away. So I can see Denzel Washington absolutely nailing a Shakespeare film. Then we have Best Supporting Actress, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Judi Dench for Belfast, Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog, and Anuana Ellis for King Richard. Best Supporting Actor with Kieran Hinds for Belfast, Troy Holzer for CODA, Jesse Plemons for The Power of the Dog, I love that guy, J.K. Simmons, another amazing actor for Being the Ricardos, Cody Smith-McPhee for The Power of the Dog. I really am starting to believe that Being the Ricardos might pick up a lot of these performance awards. It's been nominated in almost every single category, so that could be this year's version of Marriage Story. So I'm just going to quickly go through the films that have been nominated and not the people, because it might take a long time. Best Costume Design, Cruella, Serrano, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. Best Sound, we have Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Best Original Score, Don't Look Up, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, and The Power of the Dog. Best Original Score, the legend that is Hans Zimmer is in that one, so that could be an interesting one. Best Adapted Screenplay, I love this one, it's so amazing. CODA, Drive My Car, Dune, which is quite weird, to be honest. The Lost Daughter, and The Power of the Dog. Jane Campion could be picking up a lot of awards this year. Best Original Screenplay, Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World, which is I believe it's a Danish film by Joachim Trier. I did mention it very briefly in another tour, so it's very, very well written, that one. Best Animated Short, Affairs for the Art, Bestia, Box Ballet, Robin, and The Windshield Wiper. Best Live Action Short, A La Kachu, The Dress, The Goodbye, On My Mind, and Please Hold. Best Film Editing, Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, Tick, Tick, Boom. You can see some of the films that keep popping up, some of the front runners. Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Coming to America, Cruella, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, The House of Gucci, which is one that's kind of been, is a Ridley Scott film that's sort of been pushed aside a little bit, but I do believe it was quite close in getting into a lot of these categories. Best Animated Feature, I love this one, Encanto, Flea, Luca, I love that film. The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Riot and the Last Dragon, which I hear is a very good one as well. Yet to see. You know that I love this one. Best Documentary Feature, Ascension, Attica, Flea, Summer of Soul, and Writing with Fire. I don't really know a lot about those ones just yet, but I will look into them during my predictions video. Best Documentary Short. You might sometimes forget about Best Documentary Short, but I've seen some really, really good ones from this category. I saw one, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3. I'm not sure, within 3 years. And it was about refugees crossing the channel. That was absolutely brilliant. I think it did take home Best Documentary Short. Next up, we have Best Original Song, Be Alive, Dos Oruguitas, sorry about my pronunciation, Down to Joy, No Time to Die, and Somehow You Do. Best Cinematography, Dune, I think that's going to take it. I haven't seen the rest of them, but that's going to be extremely hard to beat. Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Sometimes with a lot of Shakespeare adapted films, cinematography, I think it does take it a lot of the time. If I'm correct, I'm not sure. Best International Feature, one that's often forgotten or pushed aside. Drive My Car, Flea, The Hand of God, Luana, A Yak in the Classroom, and The Worst Person in the World. For me, this seems to be like it could be a toss-up between Drive My Car and The Worst Person in the World. I would say Drive My Car just because it's been nominated absolutely. It's up there as one of the best, so that usually does win. And the last two, we have Best Production Design, Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. Appears to be a massive trend here. And Best Visual Effects, Dune, Free Guy, unusual, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man. Chances are we might go to Dune, that one, but it would be interesting if a superhero film did pick it up. They do quite well in that category, but my money is on Dune. So there we have it, the list of the nominations, and for any independent movie lovers. Again, despite the fact that a superhero film this year, a blockbuster, dominated the box office, Hollywood just cannot seem to shake those quirky independent films, as they seem to yet again dominate the Oscar nominations. As of yet, there is no host chosen, but I have heard rumours that Tom Holland might be host, in this kind of satirical kind of way, seeing how Spider-Man wasn't nominated, but it dominated the box office, like I said. Or I've also heard rumours that James Corden could be doing it. So basically, either way, both of them, in my opinion, will be awful. I hope that I think they should go for a comedian. I've always thought that comedians, you know, it's a long night, comedians keep us going. I don't think they'll choose Gervais, because that is, you know, that could be a recipe for an absolute, that could just be carnage. I do love him, but no, not for me. Also, before I end on another kind of sad note, I just hope that this year the Academy doesn't have a repeat of last year. If you didn't already know, last year they did put up kind of a momentary Oscars event, like a venue. They had to change it. Kind of a bit more outdoorsy. In doing so, they completely kicked out a lot of homeless people from where they were staying. I know they are home, you know, they don't live there or whatever, but still, it's very, very harsh. I think they could have done so much better there. They set up food vans and tables in which they were eating together right next to some restaurants and cafes where that had been that year Los Angeles turned down, and they had to stop business due to COVID. I thought that was really poor taste. So I just hope, you know, that they put on a live event somewhere else. I just hope that they do it better this year. And lately, I've been quite disappointed with a lot of decisions that they've made, but I've got hope for this one. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next Academy Awards season video coming in late March with my Oscars 2022 predictions. I will also be doing a live reaction. It will be highlighted, so it won't be the whole event, but I will be doing my reactions to who won based on my predictions. It's always really fun, but this year I was going to put it on my channel, so I thought it'd be interesting. So on that note, take care everybody.